Welcome to Scared Out of Our Collective Heads, and we're back with probably one of the most influential movies from the horror genre, and it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Up until this point, a lot of horror movies had to do with supernatural, it had to do with demons, and with, other kinds of supernatural aspects. Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre made it about people. They're just people. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in my opinion, makes it even more grounded in the fact that you don't know who could kill you, who's psychotic, and and the kind of they live among us kind of aspect of it. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974, directed by Tobe Hooper, and written by him as well. And it's inspired by a lot of stories that he actually heard from his relatives that lived in Wisconsin. Because this movie is based on a guy in Wisconsin, not Texas. Texas Chainsaw Massacre never happened. It's based on a guy named Ed Gein, who is in Wisconsin. But the actual story is a group of college kids who are driving through Texas in a van and happen to stumble upon the wrong people in the wrong part of Texas. They stumble upon a family of cannibals who previously worked at a slaughterhouse, and they now slaughter people. It is one of my favorite horror movies for the fact that it doesn't show you hardly any of the gore that you actually see on screen. The gore that you see on screen is not what you're envisioning. It lets you piece it together for yourself. There's less than a gallon of blood was actually used in the making of this movie. And when you think about that and the amount of gore that is shown, that's not actually shown, it's pretty amazing in my opinion. Very low budget movie, and along with like Blair Witch kind of aspect of very low budget but knocked it out of the park. This is one of my favorite horror movies for a lot of reasons. Check out the first one. The sequels are a little different. Second one's kind of a comedy. The third one tried to make it really, really, really scary and like a Friday the 13th aspect. The fourth one threw in the Illuminati, but you can check that one out if you want to see Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger before they got famous. They're both in that movie, and both of them did not want this thing to come out. The remakes that came out afterwards, I think that the first one was the Michael Bay Texas Chainsaw Massacre, had some interesting elements to it. The prequel to that did as well, but I think they're really only worth it if you want to see R. Lee Ermey be R. Lee Ermey. That's really the best part of this movie. There was a reboot that came out as well, the Texas Chainsaw 3D, which I think had a lot going for it, and I hope that they'll continue on that version, but it sounds like they're probably going to scrap that as well. We'll see what happens, but if anything, just check out the first one. If you've never seen anything from this franchise, just watch the first one and enjoy the discomfort. See you later.